Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and I'm back with Yu-Gi-Oh! God, it's been a while since I've done a deck profile. Fine. Anyway, um, I thought I'm sick and tired of losing to Droll this format, so I decided to play zombies and lose to a different hand trap instead. But yeah, introducing the new and revised zombie list, and God, does this look like a mess. Right, so I guess the new sort of way the deck does things is it sort of uses an AFD axis where you can try and get to Ancient Fairy Dragon as fast as possible, just using threes and fours, Destrudo, all that good stuff. And then you can cycle through your Punk and your zombie field spells, as well as getting bricks like Gozuki and Mizuki out of the hand if you haven't discarded using Foxy Tune. It also runs a Chaos Engine because, yeah, the Chaos Creator. Yeah, let's just do a run through from the cards and I can explain things. So we got Driver for the obligatory driver package because we want high impact hand traps at the moment. One Doomking Balladrock running any more than one of this is wrong. It's a brick and you do not want to see it. You don't even need it on an end board. It's just a nice additional thing, mainly to trigger Sucker and just have a bit of interruption. Chaos Creator. Now this is one I've been testing out recently, and this is not a compulsory. This is just a fun thing because it turns out recycling Mizuki is very fun. Yeah, I really like this card. Any like monster in chaos space is it, and you can also hard draw it. And if you don't, well, it's fine. You just play other things. There's no problem with that. Foxy Tune, well, yeah, Punk things. Amazing getting your bricks out the hand as well by discarding them. Trudeau to make Ancient Fairy Dragon, Shang-Chi for the sort of banish combo where you get a bunch of bodies, and also because it's a free Foolish, just hope you don't draw it for the love of God. More Fox Tune for the Punks. Chaos Valkyria, well, this is another piece of the Chaos package. It can get your banish combo going. It can also send Doom King Balladrop, which will then be online the next turn, which is very powerful. One Necro World in case you can't get into Ancient Fairy and still need to search your Zombie World, but hopefully you won't be going through this using one of your Foolish effects because it's not that good. Gozuki, well, it's a free Foolish, and its banish effect can set off the banish combo and also get bricks out of the hand. You just need to be careful about how many zones you've got because you're ending up using 3 zones if you go full banish combo using Gozuki. So need to make sure you've got room for it. Mizuki, not non-harm, hard once per turn, monster one for zombies. We got the two Ishizu fairies that mill because, well, we heckin' love milling in this deck. Get as much shit in the graveyard as possible. Just please do not send all my Chaos Engines to the graveyard, or actually just any of the punks thinking about it. Unizombie, again, another great card for the thing. I'm only running 2 Unizombie and 2 Kazuki because there's so many ways into them. You do not need to run more than one. Normal summoning this, you don't really want to be doing. You want to be normal summoning something to do with the punks usually. So we only need to add 2 of this because one's probably a bit too low. Sharakusai, well, yeah, punks. Wagon, punks. Xiamen, punks. Ghost Ogre, punks. And then we've got the Gammas, Shinobi Necro for banish combo, and also just a free draw one, discard one, which can be very potent, draw you into your hand traps. Very useful. Mad Mauler, well, yeah, it's a free reborn, usually goes into either a Mortal Dragon or Felgrunds very easily, and you can also technically make Red Eye Zombie Dragon with it. And actually, you can also make Vampire Sucker with it quite often. Droll, because this is just the format. We kind of got to play it. And, it does absolutely nothing in stopping Mathmech most of the time, so yeah, that feels good. Um, Foolish Burial, well, I mean, why wouldn't we run Foolish? Like, why not? Chaos Space to get us into our Chaos package. Emergency Teleport is at 3 instead of some of the other punk names because it's better not to use the normal summon if you can in case you need to use it for something else. And, summoning from deck goes hard right now. Because then you don't lose to a Droll. And then we've got our field spells. Extreme Session, great for resource advantaging. And this is pretty much the only thing that hurts because of Droll for the most part. So, yep, Rising Card for the Punk Engine. Psychic End Punisher, because towers, sure, towers that can close games. It's fun, and if you have to, you can resort to it as a turn one plan B. Then Chain Yin, because you're banishing a lot of shit by the time you get to turn 3. This guy's going to be beefy. Baron, because, well, it's Baron. Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord's just great. 10, to be honest. Recursion keeps you playing, can revive your previous Synchrotens, such as Baron or Pep if you lose them. Draco Berserker, it also can close out games really well, and it's also just a banish, so you can just chain it to any sort of revive or anything. The only thing this isn't really good against is Kashtira, but even then you can make it really chunky to beat over everything. Scale Dragon Felgrund, just banish something. It's a zombie, it's usable with Mad Mauler. This is sort of a flex slot, but it's good. I'd say these two, Red Eye Zombie Dragon and Scale Dragon Felgen are flex slot, but I do like running the Ing archetype zombies because then you do not lose to Rivalry, which some decks are still playing. And it also just works fine. There's like nothing else particularly. The only thing I can think of is Access Code, but even then it's like, why? Um, Dragon Drive, search your Ghost Ogre, or if you need to get into more punks, you can search your punks. AFD, because this card is so good for the deck, I cannot understate that. Just gets your extra, it's like cards you would normally summon out of the hand. You get Dawn Dragster, free spell and trap negate. Immortal Dragon, it's another foolish. It can also revive itself when it's destroyed by battle. That doesn't come up that much, but it's there. You can do things with it. It's also a synchro tuner. So if you wanted to go into some of those sort of unique synchros, Blackwing Assault Dragons ones I can think of, and there's obviously loads more, but I'm just not going to think of them off the top of my head. That's also a possibility you can use the flex slots for. Zombie Vampire, this is amazing. It can unbrick your bricky hands if you get good mills. You also get knowledge from your opponent. You're summoning this through the Punk package. It's literally Foxy Tune is a 1-card combo to get you to the Zombie Vampire plus all the other good punk shit. Apollosa, because you can sometimes make it. You won't all the time, but I don't want to add more synchros to this deck. Again, this is sort of more flexible than most other things here. Lambda, because well, we're running Gamma, we sometimes have leftover bodies. Make a Lambda, why the heck not? And Vampire Sucker, because more drawing. Love drawing those cards. Keep it going. Just draw into a droll on your opponent's turn when you revive Balladrock. Let's go. Side deck's more down to your discretion. This is definitely still in testing. But for now, 2 turtle. We need you kind of need kaijus at the moment, I think, or some way to out the big, just big bunguses that are really annoying, aka a Rise Heart, because I don't like my entire graveyard going straight to the Shadow Realm. Bestial package, well, I mean, Mathematics around still a lot. Why? And it also lets you tune to get into some 10s a lot easier, especially with Unizombie. 2 more Ghost Ogre, because, yep, there's a bunch of decks this hits well. Super Heavy, Purely, and you can search it, so why not have 2 more copies? 3 Evenly, because it's evenly. 2 anti-spell. This is up to you as well. We're not running enough spells for me to really say, oh, I wouldn't want to run anti-spell. But again, that's down to your call. And Rivalry of Warlords, because well, we're running Zombie World, like, why not? But yeah, but that's the rundown of the cards in the deck. I'll get into some games now. Okay, so our first replay is against Dogmatica Ritual, and we are going first. So as you can see, we're just going for a punk climb. Really, we got the mill 5 off for Guido, which didn't really get much in the graveyard that's useful at the moment, apart from the chaos space. They just randomly Bestial or Foxy Tune. I do not know why. So we go for Rising Card, traditional sort of punk line. When you're using it as an engine, grab the Extreme Session, then Dragon Drive, and Dino. We get Search our Ghost Ogre, and we get to draw a card. Shang-Chi, terrible draw, would love to mill that. Zombie Vampire here, going into mill stuff. Sunback as the Arman. Foolish Mizuki, now that Kazuki can come up. And then we'll just send another Mizuki. And we'll use Gozuki Effect some Shang-Chi, then we've got a couple of Mizukis we can cycle through here. Vampire Suckers draw us 1 card, and then AFD. So now we can start getting some tuners in the grave. Out of the grave into the field, but we draw a Unizombie. That's where AFD comes in so useful, so we can summon the Unizombie. We discard 1, trigger a Kelbeck, so we get more resources into the graveyard. And Mad Mauler go, so this will be to make an Immortal Dragon. Then Immortal Dragon will send Shinobi Necro, because we've got the whole Shang-Chi thing set up, but we realise, oh my god. So essentially, I needed to banish the Shang-Chi. And when I revived Chaos Valkyria, I was like, oh my god, I don't play Shogun Saga anymore. So then we just go for a Lambda and then Pep instead, and this is still a fine end board. Because we get the Balladrock in the standby to draw, which will draw us a card as well. And we draw into a second Gamma. So we go Brand Fusion, Chain Fluidity, they go into an Albion. Albion will eat a Gamma immediately. We just don't go for a Fusion Line or a Mirror Jade, because that could ruin our board. And then we get a Luba target Pep, because I don't think they've read Pep before. We'll just Ghost Ogre the Fallen of Albaz, because we do not want them to do things. And White Zoa, or Albazoa, wrong one. Albazoa. Yeah, we'll Balladrop banish that. Yeah, it's a real shame your boss monster is affected by my recurring guy that keeps coming back every turn, because we don't care about sending a bunch of extra stuff in the grave. We have enough control of the game now, because we can just leave a Cheng Ying and Barrow to close out the game. We trigger Mortal Dragon, they beat over it, there's no matter really. We draw into a draw. Sure. I mean, we get to draw on off Sucker and banish something, then we go Mad Mauler, and we go into Felger and banish the other thing, and we've got well over lethal here. So we just move towards battle, and they'll scoop it up there. Okay, so this is a game 3 against Tyr here. Game 1 which just wasn't a very good game, and game 2 I flipped Zombie World rivalry on him, so there was like nothing else really to say about that. There's no point showing that. But game 3, the only piece of side engine we've gotten into is Magnamut. The opponent has the Tikaboo, and Droll's probably in main, so it's probably not side option, don't know. But they'll hit a Miller here, and they'll just keep milling for us. Thank you for all the mills. We get to go Gozuki, banish Shinobi Necro, and we chain Magnamut to the Havness. No Havness for you. However, we're doing the Havnessing here. We're playing on your turn. We just summon just 3 guys just off of nowhere, are foolish. But they're setting Tikaboo here. They've got a Droll left in hand, so they have got room to or not play, but lock us out from playing. But we're going to try and do our relatively normal punk lines here. We're not aware of anything they've got. They Droll us here. We're not too concerned, to be honest. This deck does not care about Droll that much. Tikaboo, on the other hand, is a bit more annoying. We go Kazuki, we send a Unizombie because we're going to aim for a Barone here, go Dawn Dragster. I'm aware there's a Keldo in Graveyard, but I thought I may as well try it anyway because they didn't Keldo immediately, which was a mistake on their part. So Drake hit over, get big, Dawn Dragster. So we've got an answer to a spell and trap, we've got an answer to any tier name in the Drake Berserker. They draw a Crime, and we just Dragster the Polar Rhino, and that's it. That's that game. Okay, next game. And finally, we have the obligatory Cash Tier replay, uh, where it turns out a walking macro can be a struggle for a deck if you don't get to go first. And I mean, if they draw Shifter, well, you better hope you draw Gamma, otherwise you're just getting fucked. So we want to get the Chaos Creator here. We know we can cycle through a couple of things with the hand we got. They're going to Gamma Sharakusa, which is unfortunate. We did not consider possibility of gammering something else, but we draw a Fox Tune phase, and we're quite comfortable passing on Troll and Gamma because and the rate is what we love to see. It means the Unicorn is not going to be resolving this turn. They go for a Rise Heart. Now this is so this is a weird thing. I assume they would talents me if they had it beforehand, so I did not Gamma the Rise Heart. I would have Gammaed the Rise Heart in hand if they played correctly and just used. Or I would have wanted. I would have Gammaed the Rise Heart in hand, had known how talents obviously, but essentially it was a very weird interaction. However, it's fine. We would have probably won the game there if we had done that because they don't get the recursion of Shangri-La. But that's just a weird interactions thing, not where the player doesn't play how they're supposed to, which is a strange thing to say. We have to Gamma here because we need Foxy Tune to get our Punk to resolve, and we cannot do it with Fenrir, and we can also now make Dragon Drive using the Gamma, demonstrating Gamma's just such a powerful card for this deck, because it can act as an extension, not just a making a Borreload if you've got the off chance, aside from its negate. So we get a Rishokosi, summon to your note from hand, make a Drake Berserker, then we can just do a bunch of Punk things, bring back the Foxy Tune, make a Zombie Vampire, go. We'll mill stuff, we hit a Mizuki, we go into Gozuki here. And then we get into Vampire Sucker to go into Chaos Creator, send a Valor Drop for the recursion, and then for some reason we take a Unicorn, I'm not even sure why, we make a Burrow and we suck through the Zombie Vampire. And we for some reason we put Gozuki on board, and then we realise, we can't actually out the Shangri-La as it is too big and we should have made a Chain Ying. So that's fine, we make a Baron. And we make a Zombie Dragon Lord, and we do not see that. And for some reason, we reborn the Baladrock. This entire match essentially was me just making a bunch of misplays. They make a Lava Golem, and damn, that's putting us on 1k life here, but that's fine. We go Stoke the Shangri-La because we have to cut off their recursion, and we can't really afford Fenrir interfering with us, so we have to slam over it immediately, because otherwise they can just banish one of our guys. Now we make a Zombie Vampire, and of course they drew the Imperm for turn, which shuts down our combo. So we have to end the Lambda Pass because we're not sure whether they've got another Golem in hand. We're just living in fear of the Golem essentially. We Gamma the Fenrir. Unfortunately they have a last card, Prosperity, which was of course the top deck for turn. So their top deck was pretty much any card they need in their deck. They get Birth, which is all they need with the Unicorn in Graveyard. because that will just be enough to beat over Lambda. Um, against Kashtira, I mean, this is a game three, so the fact that I didn't draw into my sideboard's not very helpful, whereas they had access to Golem. But against Kashtira, walking macro is very scary. You have to stop them from getting to that. And essentially, apart from that, I mean, this game I had like three opportunities to win the game here, and I just flunked them completely. However, I've been trying about 3 hours to get a competent Kashtira player in my lobby, and I can't be asked to wait anymore. But no, against Cash, in all seriousness, against Kashtira, you just need to stop the Rise Heart. You can hold Gamma because its mandatory effect means you're guaranteed to get a proc of it probably, uh, and hope you win the grind game because odds on you're not going to be easily making your way to lethal. Okay, so sort of my final thoughts on the deck. Um, it's an interesting spot, this format. It has a lot of good interactions, I feel like, with the main decks of this format, apart from the very best deck of the format being Kashtira, due to the fact that they just macro you a bunch. We didn't show that just because most of the time I've stopped them getting to Rise Heart, because that's the one thing that I need to dodge. Um, in terms of deck building and flexibility, you can up your ratios of punks or like chaos engine like if you want to, but I think that would either just mean you'd be drawing to less hand traps or you're risking losing your zombie versatility and consistency when you're milling and trying to get to them. So personally, I'm fine with this list. Especially the main deck. The extra deck, of course, like I said earlier, is there's some more flexibility, and the side decks. That's your thing. I'm probably this will not be the side deck I'll be using when I've actually finished properly building this, finished testing it, and it's actually ready to be applied competitively. But it's just something I had for now, just because just throw it together quickly. Um, but yeah, I think this is a really fun option. It's sort of still like you could consider it like sixth, seventh best deck. It's definitely not going to be something that's going to be like major tops or anything. But it can actually, to be fair, what's come to my advantage is people do not know how to interrupt this very well. The only thing they really know is Ash Foxy Tune or Sharakusai, not Sharakusai, or Rising Carp. But if you're looking for a fun way to play a unique strategy that can go range from like mad combo to sort of control slash like build your board workshop where you can hold resources for the follow up, which is probably the most optimal way to play it, ending on like Sucker, Baladrock, Baron, and one other monster of your choice, and then just leaving Mizuki's for recursion. But there's a lot of different ways you can play this with a few like simple alterations to ratios and cards. But yeah, if you guys have any feedback, I always appreciate it because I'm always looking to improve my builds. Because, but hey, the jankier the better. Like I just like building a bunch of silly combo decks that are meat, and the fact that this one doesn't lose to troll makes me happy. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.